Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin podcast. I'm so glad you're here and you're listening to the podcast. Really appreciate you. And as I always say, I'll keep saying this because I do appreciate it. And just because it happens every week doesn't mean I stop appreciating you. So thank you for listening in. And because you've been listening in, you helped us get ranked in the top 5% of all podcasts globally according to Listen Notes. So thank you for doing that. And if you would go ahead and rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, that would be a big help. And today we're continuing with our special 3-part series for high achieving women leaders who are starting to feel like success isn't enough. If you listen to our last episode, which is episode 216, it is the first episode in this 3-part series. You heard me share my story of sitting in my car during a lunch break and asking myself, if I could do anything, what would it be? And that was the first time I connected with my authentic self. The first time I accepted that my true purpose was to be who I really am. But today we're going deeper because I know some of you are still sitting in a place where you know something is off, but you are staying in that situation or continuing to be in the ways that you are being. Now, this doesn't mean you have to necessarily change your job or leave a relationship. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a way of being, which may or may not require a move, but it does require an internal shift. But you're staying in that job or you're staying in that situation or you're continuing to be in the way you've been being. You're staying in that role. You're staying in the life you built, even though it doesn't feel right. And I get it. I get it because, I stayed there too. But what I want you to know is this: staying out of alignment comes at a cost. And today we're going to talk about what you're really risking when you choose to stay, continue to be, or continue to stay stuck. Because choosing to stay stuck is not as safe as it feels. It's not. It's costing you more than you realize. Now, let me take you back to that season in my life. After I had that realization in my car, the moment I said, I want to make a difference in other people's lives. But before I actually stepped into alignment, I was still showing up every day in my leadership role at the bank, still doing what everyone else saw as quote unquote good job. And on the outside, I was performing well. I was respected. I was successful. But inside, every day felt like I was moving through a fog. I would sit in meetings, having conversations, completing tasks, all things I was more than capable of doing, but none of it mattered to me. And that kind of work wears you down in a different way. I wasn't exhausted because I was overworked. I was exhausted because I was pouring my energy into something that wasn't connected to my soul. I was spending my days doing work that didn't reflect who I was. And this is its own kind of burnout because when you work hard at something that aligns with who you are, it energizes you. Conversely, when you work hard at something that disconnects you from yourself, it drains you. And that's what I felt every single day. I would come home in the evening, just sit on the sofa and just feel depleted, like I had given everything I had to something that gave nothing back to me. And the worst part, I told myself, that's just what work was supposed to feel like. And that's what success required, right? But deep down, I knew better. My body knew better. My soul knew better. And the heaviest burden I carried during that time, it was the belief that I had no choice. I thought, well, this is what I went to college for. This is what my mother wanted for me. This is what success looks like. So, what other option did I have? I thought, if I want to keep this life, the title, the stability, the respect, this is what I have to keep doing. But that belief that I was stuck was suffocating. Every Sunday night, it would hit me like a wave. That dread, that sinking feeling in my stomach. I knew the weekend was over, and tomorrow I had to go back and play that role again, perform the version of success everyone else expected from me. And every week, a little more of me faded away. And I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way because I've heard the same story from so many women leaders like you. I remember one woman in particular, brilliant, accomplished, admired by everyone around her. But when we spoke privately, she said these words: "It felt like I wasn't being my authentic self." And when she said that, I thought, yes, I know exactly what that feels like because I had been there too. And maybe you felt it too. That sense that you're showing up, but not as your full self, that you're succeeding, but it doesn't feel like success. And here's what I need you to hear today: staying out of alignment doesn't just drain you, it steals from your future. Because every day you push through the exhaustion, the emotional exhaustion, the frustration, the numbness. Every day you ignore that inner voice. Every day you tell yourself, well, this is just how it is. You are risking more than you realize. You are risking your health. You are risking your energy. You are risking your joy. You are risking your creativity, the spark that makes you feel alive. And you're risking the impact you were actually meant to make. And I know that sounds heavy, but it's the truth. And I don't want you to look up in 5 years, 10 years, and realize you built a life that doesn't reflect who you really are. Because I know what's possible on the other side. And I finally chose to step into alignment with my authentic self. It changed everything. I mean, I didn't know all the steps at first, but I knew I couldn't stay stuck. And today, I wake up with energy. I look forward to the work I do because it doesn't feel like work. It feels like an extension of who I am. It feels like I get to create and contribute from my true self, from my authentic self. And that's what I want for you. And that's exactly what we'll be doing and looking into, exploring and learning during my free live online workshop via Zoom on March 18th. And it's called When Success Isn't Enough: How Women Leaders Can Align Their Success with True Purpose Without Risking Everything They've Built. So if you're feeling this pull, if you know something has to change, this workshop is for you. All the details in the registration link are in the show notes. So just scroll down, tap the link, and I'll see you there. And until next time, this is Dr. Robin.